thanks for doing it. I appreciate it. Like, really, really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm honored, man. I'm honored to get to talk with you about it. It's great.
Ah, cool, man. So how did your sort of journey into music start?
Yeah, so my I have a family of musicians. So my dad has been a touring musician since before I was born. He's a saxophone player, plays in a jazz fusion band. So I grew up touring with him as a kid. Plus my mom is a singer. She's been in several groups. She's a great songwriter. My grandma it was a drummer, and she was the first female like drum major at her college here in it was in Nebraska, I believe. And my grandpa is a conductor, a choir director of big giant choirs, and
Oh, so
so
you've got to keep
music
the
is
tradition
just
going.
yeah, it's just music has just kind of always been in my family. And my uncle plays in a bluegrass band. My aunt plays in a Celtic pipe drum band. So it's like
Oh,
since
man.
since as long as I can remember, music has just been a huge part of my family. And so I grew up around it, touring with my dad, running his merch table when I was a kid. So it felt it's been, I guess the journey never started because it's just always been there. Um,
Yes. Did you feel pressure to go into music, or did you just want to do it from the get-go?
that's a really good question. I think, I felt pressure to not make it my career because my dad always said something. He always said, he's like, don't let music become your full-time career because you'll end up hating it. And so that's always kind of been on my mind of like, I never want music to become something that is a source of stress or where I'm having to create art to make money. So then I'm not thinking about the art, I'm thinking about what will sell.
Yeah.
So, of course, the dream would be to do music full time someday, and that's the goal. But like right now, I'm a special education teacher for elementary students. I was a pastor for a very, very long time.
Oh, wow.
But music has always been this thing, and it's recently just started ramping up. And I've been enjoying it a whole lot.
Yeah, well, I love the two songs. Is it I'll Believe and Say You'll Stay.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
great. I enjoyed. I was listening today at work. Like they're good songs.
Thank you, man. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I released Say You'll Stay during COVID. I was trapped in my house and I was like, you know what? I have a home studio. I'm going to release a song. And then, not much kind of came of that, but I decided now that I, live in Texas, I have some friends down here and I'm like, I'm going to write a song kind of about my experience with, wrestling with faith, my experience of, being fired from a church, and that weird, kind of weird world of ministry. And so, this song kind of wrestles with some of that struggle, the complexity of that kind of life.
So I obviously read you grew up in Texas. I think you just said that anyway. Yeah. Did Texas sort of help shape your sound with your music?
Yeah, man. I've always loved folk music, and with my uncle being in a bluegrass band, and I had a little 10-year window of living in the Midwest in Kansas. I started kind of getting into that acoustic, folky sounding music, and then moving to Texas. I never was into country or that sound, but being here and meeting people, I just couldn't believe what a great community, that's kind of like country Americana world is. So it definitely shaped my sound, being in Texas for sure.
Oh, brilliant! I've got that's on it's on my bucket list anyway. I'm dying. America in general, I've never been, so I'm looking forward to finally getting there one day. Like,
Oh yeah, if you
like
if you come, you've got a friend to stay with. So
listen to I Believe. I thought that
yeah,
had quite like had like a classic sort of sound, but with more like a modern sound as well. Like, did you set out
yeah.
for that, or did it just sort of happen?
For one, I love pedal steel guitar. I think that's what makes country music really, really awesome to me. But then I really love like ambient sounds and synths, and I'm very into like sci-fi and aliens, and
Yeah, yeah.
old sci-fi movies. So I kind of wanted to do this thing of like, I told my producer and I told my photographer, I'm like, I want to do something that's kind of space cowboy. I want some country and I want some like ethereal space kind of sounds in here. So I kind of shot for that.
That's cool. I like that. It's decent. Something different as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to be, of course, the country pool out here is pretty big. So I want to stand out, but I wanted to be really true to who I am as a writer and as an artist. And so this song feels very true to who I am.
That sort of leads to my next question. So I was going to ask you, how would you describe your music to somebody that never heard it before?
Oh, that's a great question. I would describe it as kind of alt country, Americana, rootsy, but also, it's kind of jarring for people when they hear the song and it has kind of a very happy, hopeful sound, but then some of the lyrics are pretty heavy. So I always tell people like, hey, if you like some kind of space country, you know, synthy but very honest, raw lyrics, like that's what you're gonna get with me. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I really love poetry. I write poetry as well, so I'm always uh very, very much thinking about that when I write lyrics as well. So it's very much space cowboy, poetic, raw stuff, I guess.
Yeah, you're not going to get many genres like that here, so it's a good one to try and
I'm
get.
trying. I guess I don't even really know what I make.
Yeah, that's cool though. I like it. It's good. From what I've heard, anyway. I've only listened to the two songs that were on Spotify, like, but they're really good. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, I'm heading back into the studio here in the next few months to do four more songs. So those will probably I'm shooting to have those out in October or November. That's the hope.
Ah, cool, man. Who've been your sort of biggest influences with your music?
Oh, that's another great question.
I'm on fire today.
Yeah, you are, man. You've got great questions. Makes for a great interview. I really let's see. I love Johnny Cash. Um,
Yeah, I'm a big Cash fan.
Huge Johnny Cash fan. But I was also for a long time I was in like punk emo bands. I was in a heavy metal band when I was in college for a long time.
Oh wow.
So, you know, I've listened to Metallica for a long time. Um, and there's some country artists here. I really love artists like David Ramirez, Rustin Kelly, Casey Musgraves, Jason Isbell. Those artists really mean a lot to me and have influenced me heavily.
Oh, brilliant. I've heard some of them. I quite like Jason Isbell. I quite like him.
Yeah, he's great. And Casey Musgraves, if you haven't heard her, definitely go check out her song "Slow Burn." It is really beautiful.
Yeah, I'll have a listen to that.
Um, yeah, definitely check her out.
I read that you produce all your own music from like a home studio.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that true?
So I got into recording and wanting to do that, after being with my dad when he was recording, and I'd like sleep under the desk in his studio, and I just kind of fell in love with it. So I started building a studio in high school and learning how to do it. And so I've always had a home studio. I've gotten decent at recording here at home. And so what I'll do is I'll record a lot of what I do here at home, and then I'll take it to my friends in downtown Dallas who have a really nice studio and say, okay, can you guys help me polish this up? Can we get because I can't record like drums at my house, but I can record vocals and guitars and things really well here. So I do enjoy recording at home.
Yeah, what's your favorite part of the recording process?
Oh man, yeah. I'm definitely a writer at heart. So I love getting to write while I'm recording. So a lot of times I won't finish a song. I like to record and write at the same time because I can experiment with sounds. I can go, ooh, I like how that sounds. Let's try it this way. So I think some of the best parts of recording for me is experimenting with sounds, seeing what's possible, putting different things together. It feels magical most of the time. Just like, wow, had no idea this would sound this good with this, or I didn't know I could make my voice sound like that. Like it's really special to me.
Do you know, I actually want to ask you something. I've always mean to ask everyone when I interview them, and I forget every time. See, when you make your song and you produce it and how do you know when it's finished?
Oh man.
Like I'm
That
dying.
is a
I'd love to
great
know.
question. I love that question because it's something I talk about with my friends who record too a lot. Um, it's I have one friend that says it's never finished, it's just abandoned. You just eventually you have to abandon it. I think for me, it's probably a little bit more spiritual for me where there is a sense that it never feels finished. Even I'll believe there's things that I listen to with it now and I go, maybe I should have done this or maybe we could do this, but you know for me there is a point in the process where if I feel really proud of how it sounds, of like, okay, I feel like I've done my very best with this. I feel like I can sense in my spirit of like, okay, there's a tinge of contentment that if once I feel that tiny bit of contentment of like, okay, this is good, this is good. It's not perfect, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
That's when I kind of let it loose and set it free. Because once it's out of your hands, it's out of your control of how it hits people. It's out of your control how they interpret lyrics, how they interpret, you know, different instruments or things. So, it's kind of a letting go and sending it off into the world with hope.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Imagine quite nerve-wracking as well.
Oh, I mean, nerve-wracking is putting it lightly. I felt so much anxiety on release day of just like, what are people going to think of this? I have no clue, what's going to happen. But, I've been really pleasantly surprised. It seems to be, you know, there's a lot of people who struggle with what I talked about in the song too. So they're like, wow, this is meaningful to me. And that's what I like, is if it can be meaningful to someone as it is to me, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think with music, there's always going to be someone that resonates with, no matter what it's like. I think.
Yeah, I think so. And I think people will be surprised at how, if people interpret lyrics one way and it ends up being meaningful, and you're like, wow, when I was writing it, I never thought that it might be taken that way. But now, that's the beauty of music and that's the beauty of art, is that it's not just for you, it's for everyone. And so when you create something, you're giving it to people and trusting that it's going to do whatever work or whatever good thing it's going to do, or maybe it's going to ruffle feathers, and art can do that too, which can be fun.
Yeah, that's great. Does performing live sort of shape how you write songs, or does it make no
Yeah,
difference?
I'm definitely, I perform quite a bit, and my with my family being all performers too, when I write songs, I'm thinking about how am I going to do this live? Because I never want to write and record something that is going to be absolutely impossible for me to do live. So like right now, when I go out and play, I play solo most of the time now. And so I don't ever want to do something that doesn't translate well to playing live, because there's nothing more disappointing to me than when you hear a recording and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to go see this band or this person live, and you go hear them live and you're like, oh no, oh gosh, they don't sound anything like the recording.
Yeah, I've
That to
had that
me, that's
before.
my nightmare. That is my nightmare. So I want people to hear me live and go, whoa, he sounds like the recording. So I definitely, playing live really does come into play when I'm writing.
Oh, brilliant. Have you got sort of any dream collaborations? Is there anybody you want to work with?
Oh
Who'd
wow.
be the dream?
Ooh, I think that artist Casey Musgraves. If I got to sing with her, or co-write with her, that would be a dream come true. I don't even know if I could sing in her presence,
Yeah.
just because she's so influential to me, and such a great artist. But I would love to work with her someday. That would be a dream come true, a gift. Wow, maybe one
Yeah.
day.
But is it if there was one song that you wish you could have wrote as well, what would it be?
Oh man.
You're only allowed one
Okay.
though. You're only allowed one.
Okay. I have an answer to this. Um, so Willie Nelson has a son, and his name is Lucas Nelson.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, and he wrote a song called "Turn Off the News." And every time I play this live, I'm like, I so badly wish I would have wrote this song because this is such a great song. And I think honestly, as many people know, America is kind of a mess right now. And
Yeah.
it's to put it lightly. And this song is just so perfect for this moment in our culture. So it's called "Turn Off the News" by Lucas Nelson, and it is a beautiful song.
Yeah. What's next for you then? Have you got more songs or is it gonna be EPs, a little tour?
Yeah, I think, I've got an EP that I'm working on right now. Hopefully the fall, but I have recently I got connected with a booking company here in Dallas, and they're getting me signed up with some bigger venues, and it's looking like I'm going to need to put together, a full band thing here pretty soon. So it's definitely ramping up. And like I just got featured on the radio here in Dallas
Oh,
for the
cool.
first time, which was cool. And so it's there's some momentum here that I was not expecting, and I'm excited about it. Of course, I'm a teacher, so school starts here in August, and I'll be doing that too. And I'm a dad, I'm a single dad, so but music has been this beautiful outlet, so I'm kind of riding the wave here and seeing where it takes me.
Yeah, keeping yourself busy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Ah, cool. Well, that's it really. That was like the gist of it. Just like a chat to get to
James,
know
thank
you.
you so much, man. It's so cool to meet you. And anytime you want to talk music, you want to do a top 10 best artist, whatever, I'm up for it, man.